I think so. It's interesting. I haven't been able to work in any jokes about the election yet into my set because it's still pretty raw.
Yes, yes.
A little bit. The fact that I ran against the guy who sent me my very first dick pic is something I totally have to work into this material.
Oh I didn't know this. I did not know this.
Oh my God.
On a personal level, I didn't know this. Holy shit.
I will not name the guy again.
Oh, please do. Please.
I called him out on it though.
During a debate, I hope.
No, during the campaign, I got some hate messages that referenced him, and so I posted them, and he called me and was like, "I just want you to know that I disavow this. I don't want those people voting for me." And I was like, "I know. Like, we're both lefty candidates. I didn't, you know." So we met for a beer because he felt bad. I was like, "I have to tell you." And he was like, "Yeah, we matched on Tinder in 2015," and I was like, "Oh. You did so much more than match with me on Tinder in 2015. And
you're like, I wish the story ended there.
He was like, what? I'm usually, oh no. I'm like,
I'm sure you went transparent.
Basically, I was like, dude, first unsolicited dick pic. And he was like, that was how I approached online dating. He was like, how have you not, like, I'm so sorry. It was, I mean, he felt bad, but that is going to find its way into a joke.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to.
It has to. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is season 4 of Shooting the Breeze. And this week, my guest is one of my best friends, Ashley Perna. Ashley's a comic, a hilarious comic based out of Kingston. So thank you, Ashley, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And this feels kind of weird because we talk all the time. So, forgive us if we seem a little stiff at first, because it's weird to do this like kind of formal when we're like not usually, So we'll loosen up in time. So I wanted to get into, you've had a very interesting last few months. So yes. On top of your work as a law clerk, on top of your work as a stand-up comedian, you also ran for city council of Kingston.
I did.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that whole experience.
So I ran in the Portsmouth district, which had the most candidates of any district. There was like a billion of us running. They could only ask like 3 questions in the debates because if they gave us each 5 minutes, we would like blow 3 hours easily if they had asked any more. One of the interesting things I learned, talking in front of people as a politician is very different than talking in front of people as a comedian.
How
so? Well, they gave us the debate questions in advance, and when you're writing,
are you lying as a comedian? Are you lying as a politician? Is that the difference? Lies versus...
Well, it's when you're a comic, right? Every sentence you say has to either be a joke or lead to a joke. Like you can't waste your time, especially when you're a comedian who's only got like 6 or 7 minutes.
Right.
When you're writing as a politician, you're not trying to make people laugh. That's not actually going to work out well for you in the long run. You're trying to tell people every sentence you say either has to be a point of how you're going to do something better, or it's got to lead to that point. And it was really challenging to get there. I think
it must be like a change of, you have to change your whole thought pattern too.
Yeah. I mean, the comedian thing helped me a lot going door to door because I was really comfortable talking to people, and it helped a lot in the debates. Unfortunately, it did not translate into winning results. I lost by quite a lot. I still didn't come in dead last, so fine.
Just the fact that you did it, and I told you this, just the fact that you worked so hard, you put so much work and effort into it, you gave it your heart and soul, and not a lot of people can do something like that. So you should be very, very proud of that.
Thank you. I ran the campaign mostly on my own funds. I didn't take money from developers. I didn't take money from, I think I took money from my mom, and I took money from one of my friends, and that was it. And he only gave me the money when I was pretty depressed about how bad the campaign was going. So I'm pretty sure it was like, please stay alive to the end of the campaign money, as opposed to like,
I'm
I'm
endorsing
donating.
you.
Yeah. I have to say that the worst part of the whole experience was election night. I've never been more anxious in my entire life.
Wow.
I think I always get sick to my stomach before shows. I think I was sick to my stomach the entire day. I lasted at the election party I was invited to for approximately 15 minutes before my anxiety was so bad and I had to go.
Really? Wow. Wow.
So I went to a friend's house and we put on Stranger Things, and then we had like my little cell phone with the results going so that I could kind of keep an eye on it. And as soon as they started reporting the results, they got my name wrong.
You told me about that and I was like, what?
Yeah, my last name is Perna. Like, it's not like it's difficult. They spelt it Pima.
Pima?
Pima, P-E-M-A. And I really don't know who that Ashley Pima chick is, but she's not too well this year.
Like, how could they do that? Like, that's just careless. That's just careless.
It reminded me, I mean, I had, I'm not going to name him, but there was a comedian who didn't bother to learn my name before introducing me my second time performing at Absolute Comedy. And he introduced me as Anana Piranha, which...
Was he high? Was he
just was
body
careless.
Snatched or something? Because
he was just careless. So this at least was better than that. So I mean, maybe the next time they get my name wrong, they'll, I don't know, give me the name of someone very wealthy and I can get some cash out of it or something.
Oh my God. Because that's like, somebody's name is like the very basic, you can Google it. You can walk up to the person and ask them if you're not sure, like, how do you pronounce it? Am I saying it right? It's not that hard. And
they got the accent in Sebastian Valancourt in the right place, but they couldn't get my last name.
That's infuriating. And so there's nothing for me, like in terms of anything, like my context is in comedy, that introducing someone by the wrong name or just having like a shit introduction gets my blood boiling.
It's the easiest thing in the world to fix.
I
will say though that whole experience was a very good learning experience, and out of it I was able to really impress some other people in positions of power. So I might not be on council, but I'm on the board of directors of a conversion therapy survivors group. I'll be helping start a community co-op to get more housing in Kingston. I've been asked to help create a tenants' rights advisory group. So, I mean, I'm still going to be doing a lot of good. And I think it was because of how hard I worked in that campaign that got me there. So I don't think it was a waste.
No,
absolutely not. Probably won't do it again.
Oh, really? You don't think you'll do it again?
I think if I can stay on these 3 boards or these 3 positions, I think I'll probably be too busy.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's worth all the stress and all the hassle and everything I'm going to have to go through to try again.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, in terms of, you were saying that your anxiety was like off the charts, like election night, and you could only manage like 15 minutes at the party. What was it that was causing you anxiety? Because from my perspective, I would think that like the scary part is done. Like for me, canvassing, like going door to door, standing at a shopping mall greeting people, that would be like, I don't want to do that. What was it?
I've learned through lots of therapy, and I have 4 therapists now, that my anxiety gets triggered when I can't control something in my environment. So going door to door, I can control my responses. I can control what neighborhood I go to. I can control what I'm wearing. I can control the image. I can control the conversation to some degree.
Right.
But election night, I can't control the result.
Okay.
And the idea of losing in front of other people
Yeah.
was very triggering. And it was so weird. I was at like the person whose party I was at is was a friend of mine. And I was there with another very good friend of mine. And these two friends were like huge support people when I was going through a really rough time this summer. So I almost felt bad. I was like, I've got these two support people right here willing to continue supporting me. But I was like, I still can't. I still can't do it. I ended up going to my one friend's house who was like, I'm not leaving you alone.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. It was like the thought of losing in front of other people. I just couldn't bear it.
Oh, wow.
I don't like crying in front of people. And I knew I would cry. Like I knew there would be ugly tears. And honestly, I cried a little bit, but not that much.
Okay.
I think
maybe part of it was like a bit of relief, maybe at the same time, mixed in with everything else.
I think it was just like, there's really nothing I can do at this point. Like, when the results first came in and I only got 51 votes, I cried a lot then. But
how many votes?
I only got 51 to start, and the district has like more than that in it.
Okay.
But as results came in, the number got higher.
Okay.
I was like
51.
Yeah.
In a town of what? Kingston has what, 100,000 people?
My district has oh God, I can't remember anymore.
Oh right, it would be your district that was.
But my district has way more than 51 people in it, so it was.
There's at least 60.
Right, like.
Oh man. Yeah, that's I've never done anything remotely close to that. So kudos to you for doing that. I've told you this already, that I was like so proud of you for doing it, because that's not an easy thing. That's not easy. You know, it takes honestly, dedication, passion, all of this stuff.
And I really thought like I know someone on council, and he makes, and he's very introverted, but he makes talking to other people look so easy. Like he makes being charming and engaging and like, oh, well, tell me about your, like, he makes being outgoing like that look really easy. So I was like, well, man, I'm not that introverted. If he can do this, of course I can do this. But it was really challenging at first to put myself in that, like, I don't know, because when you're on stage, you don't have to interact with people.
No.
Like, in fact,
it's highly discouraged. We don't want that.
Yeah, I was going to say, in fact, at certain clubs, they'll throw people out for talking to you. Yes. Which in retrospect might be why I'm attracted to comedy.
It's like, don't talk to me.
Just over there. Just you over there.
Zip it. Wow. Do you find that, because you said during like the campaign and everything that comedy, having done comedy, helped you to talk to people and approach people like that? Do you find post canvassing, post campaign, post election, has that experience helped your comedy?
I think so. It's interesting. I haven't been able to work in any jokes about the election yet into my set, because it's still pretty raw.
Yes.
A little bit. The fact that I ran against the guy who sent me my very first dick pic is something I totally have to work into the material. Oh my God,
I did not know this.
Oh my God.
On a personal level, I didn't know this. Holy shit.
I will not name the guy again.
Oh, please do. Please.
I called him out on it though.
During a debate, I hope.
No, during the campaign, I got some hate messages that referenced him. And so I posted them, and he called me and was like, I just want you to know that I disavow this. I don't want those people voting for me. And I was like, I know, like, we're both lefty candidates. I didn't, So we met for a beer because he felt bad. I was like, I have to tell you. And he was like, yeah, we matched on Tinder in 2015. And I was like, oh, you did so much more than match with me on Tinder in 2015. And
you're like, I wish the story ended there.
He was like, what? I'm usually, oh no. I'm like, He
I'm sure you went
realized
transparent like this.
basically, I was like, dude, first unsolicited dick pic. And he was like, that was how I approached online dating. And he was like, how have you not, like, I'm so sorry. It was, I mean, he felt bad, but that is going to find its way into a joke. Actually.
Yeah, it has to.
It has
It
to.
has to. On a tangent.
Yeah.
On a tangent. How do some men still think that that's the way to our hearts, that we're going to be like, oh,
They lead with what they think is their strength.
who's going to tell them?
Not me, because that's a huge red flag. And I'm like, if you think that that tiny little thing is your greatest accomplishment, we're going to have to go with it.
Even if it was the most magnificent looking thing, like, why would that? I don't get it.
I've never seen a dick pic that made the dick look magnificent.
No, same.
Yeah.
I've seen like in real life that like, oh yeah, beautiful. But even if that same one was sent to me in a picture, no. I don't get it.
They can continue sending them because it really lets me know who not to date.
Yeah. God. I haven't gotten one in a while, thank God. You know, so I am grateful. I'm eternally grateful, because it's jarring when you get one.
It is.
It's jarring and like,
fuck. I will say, in the confines of a committed relationship, when I'm with a partner and I
totally different. Different.
Then
That's
I
hot.
love them.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot because it's solicited. It's but just some person that you haven't even met in person most times. You know, you don't even know, and they're like, here, like this. That's like jarring. But yeah, in the confines, in the context of a relationship, like you've got something with that person, it's totally fine. I'm okay with it. But outside of that, it's gross.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Unless the guy is calling me babe on a regular basis and I'm getting good morning texts, I do not want to see the dick. That's my rule.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to be babe. I could settle for another term of endearment. But...
Yes. Oh my God. So he was mortified. Like first of all, how do you forget? She said, or you forgot that he sent it to you.
So many that he lost track of who he's to.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like you either like you blocked it out, or you've sent so many that you're like, I don't even know anymore. And this was back 2015. Okay, so it was a while ago.
It was a long time ago, really. Like, and he's even from our interactions back then and now, he's definitely matured a little bit as a person. I'm not saying that I date him or anything like that, but he is more tolerable now than he was then. Okay. So I can see how he might have grown up a little. Approach to online dating. He did invite me to the gun range mid-campaign, which seems he would like. I don't know if he was like asking me on a date mid-election, or if he was just like, "You're cool, we'll hang out, come shoot a gun. You shoot a bow and arrow."
Yeah, you shoot bows and arrows. Let's shoot bullets instead. Like that. Let's switch it up.
Good idea if your opponent invites you to play with guns with them, but
it's a trap. It's a trap. Like this. Wow. Oh my goodness. And then you also mentioned that you got hate emails and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I get them from time to time because of comedy.
Same, me too.
I got one. I want to say August, September. I was at my friend Mike's house. I was shooting my bow and arrow. I paused shooting to go get groceries because he has this huge kitchen. His kitchen is like the size of my living room.
Wow.
So I love cooking there. So what I would do in the summer is I would take a couple nights off canvassing. I would go shoot just to blow off some steam in his backyard. I'd go get food. I'd cook. We'd have dinner. We'd hang out. He'd drive me home. On the nights that I could be left alone. It was a really nice arrangement. And I remember I was walking to the grocery store in his little neighborhood. Beautiful day outside. I was thinking, I'm feeling really good. Like the shooting was really, I was getting all my clusters where I wanted to go. I'm like, this is a good day. I'm going to be in a really good frame of mind for canvassing tomorrow. And I get an email and I was like, oh, it's from my web contact thing. Cool. I wonder what this, either spam, because 95% of the web contacts I get are spam,
Yeah.
or it's a constituent asking a legit question. I open it up and it's this guy saying, something like, my mouth is only good for one thing and he's going to show it to me.
Oh.
Women have no place thinking that they know better. Your mouth is only good for one thing. And I'm like, what?
That's disgusting.
And I was like, gross. So I screen capped it and sent it to a few of my friends. And I'm like, gross. And then about a month later, I got 2 messages. Like one right after, like one day, one the next day. And the one message was something similar. It was a veiled rape threat. And then the second message was telling me that I think it was something like, you're ugly, you're stupid, another veiled rape threat, you should go kill yourself, which was not well timed given my frame of mind. And then he listed my the other really lefty candidate, and he was like, this dude 2022.
Holy shit.
It's just like, Jesus Christ. Those were the ones I screen capped, put on Facebook, and I was like, look, I'm gonna get messages like this, but I'm gonna keep going. And if you're the kind of person who sends people messages like this, rethink your life choices.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to deter anyone. I'm not going to hide because you said my mouth is only good for
that's what they think. Yeah.
My mouth is good
and
for
you'll never
things.
know. You will never know.
Yeah. I eat well, I speak well, and I fuck amazingly. And that poor guy is never going to find
He's
it.
Never going to know. Exactly. Yeah. You'll probably never know from anyone, let alone you.
Yeah. So it was jarring. I did report them to the police, who in very stereotypical police fashion said, oh, well, he didn't tell you when and how he was going to kill you, so it doesn't technically count as a death threat.
He hasn't attempted to kill you, so yeah. And then I get the same thing, yeah.
And when I've gotten hate emails and stuff, I've been able to, like, how you can view the header. I'm like, oh, I'll check the IP address. Oh, this person's using a VPN. The cops are never going to do anything because they'd have to actually investigate a VPN, and that's not going to happen. So
yeah, no, and that it's virtually impossible to track down. Yeah, because I've been in the same boat too. I find every time something good happens, I get an uptick of hate. And yeah, the veil. So some veiled rape threats, most not veiled, just very, I'm going to rape you and kill you sort of thing, and die and kill yourself, all kinds of stuff. The milder ones are like the N-word or get out of comedy or things like that. And it is jarring. Like I don't think it's something that you can ever be like, oh, you got another hate mail. Like I don't think it's something that you could ever just get used to. We're aware of the type of people who are doing these things.
Yeah. I would love to do, like, if I had a lot of time and money, I would love to do like a podcast or a series where I try to track down people who send those messages and just sit down and ask them why. Like, legitimately explain to me how this makes your life better. Like, you could have spent that time and energy in getting some therapy.
Yes. An infinite number of better things that time could have been used on, and it's I don't understand it. And it's usually women are usually the target. And women doing good things, just living their lives, and it's like somebody is so angry, like, how dare you you
the friend
live
I
your
have
life.
The friend I have who's a counselor, he did what he won his seat, because again, it looks effortless when he does it. I asked him, I was like, do you ever get these hate messages? Like, do you get stuff like this? Like, And he said that he does, but his are very different. His are mostly just like, you're a shitty politician. I disagree with this decision you made. Will accurately call him out on his white privilege, but then go one further and be like, someone should take this all away from you. That kind of stuff. But for him, he was like, it doesn't always bother him because he's like, it's always about my decisions or what they perceive to be my personality. It isn't that it's me. And he was like, which is way different than when like a woman gets it, because they're going after you as a person. They're not going after you as a comedian. They're not like, you're unfunny and stopping there. Or, you know, I disagree with your choice to tell this. I mean, this
joke about whatever. Yeah.
I mean, this isn't my story to tell, but there's a comedian in Kingston who got spat on after a show. He has a joke about.
Recently this happened, or?
Yeah. He has a joke about Home Alone. And he talks about Anne Frank and the kid from Home Alone. And some guy came up to him after the show and spat on him. And it was really upsetting for everyone.
Yes.
That's but assault. I remember going home and thinking, he got spat on because of a joke. I've been molested outside of a club because I'm a woman.
Yes.
Like, I wish I could get hate because of my jokes.
Me too. Like, I carry a knife. I carry a knife in my bag. I have, well, I can't, pepper spray is illegal, so it's bear spray. I have bear spray in my car because no one's coming after me about my jokes. It's always, I'm going to hurt, I'm going to physically harm you for being you. You know, because even comics, like, comics that get hate, it's, that joke was out of line. I didn't like your joke. I didn't like your take on this.
Yeah.
You know, you can't joke about that, but it's never physical assault. They're never threatened with physical assault or as a person, like going after them as people, you know?
Yeah. I carry a stitch ripper for the same reason.
Yeah.
Because you can conceal a stitch ripper and it's not illegal.
It's like, I was going to quilt later. Like,
that's how I get discounts at stores, man. I loosen a few stitches. I'm kidding. I would never do that. I would never actually do
that. Yeah, because the thing, the fucked up thing would be, like, God forbid someone comes after me after a show and I spray him with my bear spray, or I pull my knife on him, like, get away from me. I'm the one who's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that this guy was coming after me and was going to assault me and I was defending myself. They'll be like, oh, bear spray is illegal and arrest me. Or no, he didn't come at you with a weapon and you pulled a knife on him. It was like whatever the term is for, like, being more aggressive. And that pisses me off.
It's upsetting. Yeah.
It's upsetting, yeah. Because it's like, oh, if I didn't have it, you know, if I didn't have the knife to pull or the thing to spray to defend myself, what, it's okay that this guy's gonna, like, jump on me and do God knows what? I'm not supposed to defend myself somehow? I'm getting in trouble for defending myself? That's insane.
I will say, I do legal research is like I'm probably on the spectrum a bit because it's one of my special interests. Like, I could just sit for hours and read Canley. There have been certain cases where they've sort of decided that if someone's coming after you with the intent to harm you, you are allowed to reciprocate with a reasonable amount of force. And as a woman, pulling a weapon and warning them that you're going to use it can be considered reasonable, as long as you're not just like,
I'm gonna stab this guy for shits and giggles.
Yeah, as long as you're not like, he looked at me across the bar, I'm gonna stab.
Him.
Yeah. But if someone's like actively coming at you to give you some comfort, probably would have a pretty good defense and self-defense.
Oh yeah, because I would be like, get away from me. You come any closer, I will cut you.
Yeah.
come any closer and I'm gonna spray you, I'm gonna cut you, I'll do whatever.
I have a stitch ripper because I'm worried about this scenario happening. Someone coming at me. My stitch ripper is small. I can keep it in a pocket. It's not going to stab. I have concerns about them coming after me. My purses are never, I wear a backpack now because my purses are just never organized. So can you imagine me like, wait.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, hang on.
I put all your shit on the table. And then you get your knife out. Still wait. And then you gotta like, fuck, I gotta open this mother. Oh, yeah.
Take the cap off it.
Yeah. Stitch ripper in the pocket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because even with me, it's not, I don't have it on my body. I don't have the knife on my body. It's in my bag. It's in my media bag where my camera is. Like I should have it on my body.
Yeah,
so
I
could
keep
just
mine
be
on
like,
me.
come on. You know, like, yeah,
no,
I should
literally
keep it on my body. Yeah.
I do try to wear things with pockets for that very reason, actually. And if I don't, I lost a lot of weight in a very unhealthy way. So my clothes are pretty loose fitting. So what I've done, I've had to like stitch some of my skirts a bit so that they're a bit tighter. And what I did with a couple of them is I stitched like a little pocket into the inside of the skirt where I can just slide the stitch ripper.
Right.
And then pull it out. Yeah.
It's bad that we have to like alter our clothing to conceal weapons to protect ourselves from lunatics.
Right? Yeah, arts and crafts for women in dangerous situations.
Exactly. No, and it's really, it's disheartening that and that's like a reality for a lot of female comedians. I think every female comic that I know has had some kind of aggression levied towards her, you know.
Yeah, the being molested on the way out of the show was really,
I remember that. I remember you telling me about that.
It was in February. It was really, really upsetting. I want to say it happened at the mansion, and the only reason I'm mentioning that is because the staff were incredible. So it was after the show. There were very few of us upstairs still, mostly just the comics. I just wanted to go home. I was tired. I think I definitely had to work the next day. I just wanted to go.
Yeah, you're ready to go home.
And no one was able to drive me at the time because they were all still having fun. And I was like, that's fine. I'll just take an Uber. Cool. So I was down the staircase where there's like a staircase from the third floor to the main floor, and it's very isolated. So I was going down the staircase by myself, and this guy came up and tried to like get all up on me. And he kept saying, "Oh, well, you were joking about stuff," and I'm like, ugh. So we get out to the main floor, and I basically shouted, "Get the fuck off of me!" Like top of my lungs, shouted it. And I'm proud of myself because normally when I'm in that situation, my instinct is to breathe or fawn. Like I will breathe or I will do whatever that aggressor wants me to do.
Just to get out of it, yeah.
So the fact that I, raised my voice, I was like, good for me.
Yes, absolutely.
I had two staff members come over. One of them, his name is Q. He waited with me. He stood with me. The other guy threw the guy out of the bar. The guy was like, "How are you getting home?" I said, "I have an Uber." So he waited with me inside for the Uber, and then he walked me out to the Uber, got me in the Uber safely. And then when the other guy tried to come around the corner, he was like, "You stay away." The mansion messaged me the next day to make sure I was okay and to tell me that unfortunately they didn't have any security footage. But if I wanted to file a complaint, they would do everything they could to cooperate.
That's amazing.
So I was just
amazing for them.
It was a traumatic experience, but the pub in question did everything. And it was a show that Al Babcock ran, and I gave him a heads up in case the guy came back up to try to mess with anyone else. Al responded immediately, like, "Are you okay? Are you home safe? I don't know who that was, but we're going to find out." A bunch of the other comedians were super sweet about it. One guy is sober, and he was like, "I'll leave when you leave, and I can always come back if I want." So,
Yeah.
I mean, Kingston's got a pretty great little community.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice that I was supported in that. But oh my God,
Yeah, that's scary. That's
it was
scary.
frightening.
Because I had somebody, and I think it was jarring just because in a way, sometimes you forget about the jokes that you're saying. And
Yeah.
I had a joke about like not touching my hair. And it was like, oh, I'll let you touch my vulva before I let you touch my hair.
Yeah.
You know,
Love
and
that joke.
and it's just to show like the reasoning behind that line is don't fucking touch my hair.
Yeah, it's
Touch anywhere
hyperbole.
else, dot my hair, sort of thing. Not literal, not
Yeah.
literal. And so after a show, this guy threw the joke back at me, and he leans in, and he says, "Can I touch your vulva?"
Oh,
And another female comic was with me, and we were both like, I guess we were like recoiled in horror because it didn't click. It just didn't click. And I probably just looked at him, and he was like, "Oh, your joke about your hair, your joke about your hair." And I was like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha." You know what I mean? And it's like, even that you're referencing the joke, but still,
maybe
you know
leave
what
the
I mean?
joking to the professionals.
You know, and because even if you wanted to say like that joke was funny, you know, the can I touch your vulva instead of your hair, that's funny. Like, say it like that. But to be like, can I touch your vulva? Because I'm like, I'm off stage, like I'm not in comic mode anymore. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I have a
Jarring.
I have this joke about David Bowie, and I think the Yuck Yucks night that we were there, the woman came up to me after the show, and she's like, "I loved your David Bowie bit," and it took me a minute to be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
like I
Exactly.
literally just said it," but it took me a minute to be like, "Oh right,
Right. Exactly. Oh yeah, people are here and they're actually listening. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's true. Like, because like as soon as you get off stage, your comic mode is off, because it's like you go into comic mode to be able to perform and do your job effectively, and then once you're off, and especially if like some time has passed, you
yeah,
know, half an hour, like if you're on earlier in the show and then the rest of the show happens. It's one thing if like say you're towards the end, or you're closing out the show, and like within 5 minutes somebody comes up and goes, touch your vulva. I'd probably still be in the mode, yeah, better not, sort of thing.
yeah,
You know, but when like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever passes, and you've like moved on from that,
yeah,
you're in something else, and then someone references, especially if it's like a highly sexualized joke, um it's like, because I was with another female comic, and we were both like, what the fuck? Like, just, we looked at each other and we looked at him, and he was like, oh no, your joke, and it's like, oh, right.
It's funny how people think jokes are so real too. Like I was very suicidal this summer. Full disclosure. I performed at this one brewery in town, um, and most of my set was probably about that. I joked about how it's expensive. Like I'm too poor to try to die by pills because man, that shit is expensive. And like, joke about how I'm really bad at it, but that's good because I don't think I'm cool enough to die. Like I had quite a few of those jokes, and I remember like the comics all laughed.
Oops.
But I remember Zach, one of the comics who's since passed away, he was sitting at the bar, and the bartender leaned over to him, and she was like, "Am I allowed to laugh at these jokes, or should I be calling someone?" And he's like, "They're jokes. You're supposed to laugh. If you don't laugh, you should probably call someone because then she's gonna need it."
No, because I remember during that time, you would send me the jokes, like you would send me these bits. And I remember one time responding to you saying, the comic in me thinks these are golden, but the friend is very concerned. The friend aspect of me is very worried and very concerned, but the comic loves these. The comic in me thinks these are brilliant, you
That's
know?
you know, after that particular incident, Zach did start calling me every second day to check in on me. But it was, you know, it was like, these are jokes. This is how I'm processing these feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're not real all the time. Like, I don't think any of us have a joke that is 100% truthful. Like, we
That's what I
all
was gonna
elaborate a
say.
little bit, you
Yeah,
know?
that's what I was gonna say, because the audience either thinks that we're lying, everything we say is like made up, or everything we say happens as we say it.
Yeah.
There are very few, like I've had maybe a handful of jokes that the way I deliver them is exactly how it happened. You know, that doesn't have, sorry.
That's okay.
Excuse me, and she's standing right on the keyboard. Excuse me,
Of
baby.
course. I don't know where Rory went.
I saw her with you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's right here. So they either think that everything we say is made up, or everything we say is happened as we say it. You know, and I think what a lot of people don't realize is that all of our jokes, well, for most of us who do say more like storytelling type of comedy, every bit is based on something that actually happened. Every bit is based on real life, and then we add to it, we do something to it to make it funny, you know. So it's all based in reality. It's all something that's actually happened, but the way we're delivering it, that's not necessarily how it happened.
Yeah, it's not 100% true. Like, you know, I joke about pills. Like, I think I put a specific dollar figure in the joke, and I think it was like 2,000. I can't remember, but like, that's absolutely not how many I took. You know what I mean? But it's a good number to say on stage, right? Like,
right.
I mean, I was thinking about making it super specific, like $327.85. Like, that's obviously not right. And my joke about the guy who molested me, I mean, it's very true until I talk about it was like being molested by a cloud. Like, yes, Buddy's hands were very soft, but
still,
I certainly, you know, I certainly wasn't in that moment being like, oh, this is like being molested by a cloud. You know, like,
it's true.
You know, you add things later to either make the punch hit harder, or to relieve the tension more, or, you know, to make, like I said, like with a couple suicide jokes, like I put in very specific figures because it just felt better to say on stage. I have a joke about jackhammering, and the number has changed over the years until I've gotten to 38 seconds. And I think it's because saying that on stage just makes it sound funnier than any other number. I don't know why.
It puts the implication that you're like 36, 37, 38. Okay.
And I mean, I had one partner where he came to all my shows. And we were literally in bed one night having sex, and he's on top. And at one point he was like, 39. Yes, I think the joke. That was awesome.
It can't be about me anymore.
Yes. Well, it was like every time I bring a guy to a show, every head in the bar pivots to him. And they're like, is that the jackhammer guy?
And he's like, no, I hit 42, okay? 42.
Yeah. I had one guy, we're still like exceptionally good friends. Some random audience member asked after a show. They were like, oh, are you the jackhammer guy? Like, how do you feel about her telling that joke on stage? And he was like, she's been telling that joke for years. I have no fear that I'm the jackhammer guy. He was like, honestly, I feel like as long as I don't fuck up too bad, I'm not going to appear in her set.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's how it actually goes for me. I think I only have, I mean, I have 4 jokes about the guy I'm seeing right now. But he was an ex too, so it's fine. He deserved them that time. But usually I try to keep my jokes either about people who deserve to be made fun of, but I try to keep them vague enough that I can still tell them years You know, like my
Yes.
friends don't have to, or like the people in the audience don't have to be able to connect this joke with this particular person. I want it to
Right,
be more,
right.
yeah. So I try not to
More
make my,
generic. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like the one
Exactly.
joke I have about the guy I'm seeing now. I mean, it could apply to any guy. It was the way he dumped me the first time. I mean, that sentence could
Mhm.
apply to basically, you don't have to
Yeah,
know the
yeah, we've all
situation to
been
find it's
dumped in
funny.
that kind of some like
Abrupt way. Yeah.
abrupt, obnoxious way. Yeah, we've all been through that. So, yeah, that's not specific. Fortunately, that's not specific to one person.
Yeah.
You know, they
And I find when I do try to tell jokes that are very specific to one person, it never works. Like it works, my friends get it, but it never works. Like my joke about why are you crying over the Wish version of BoJack Horseman? Like it's very funny to you and I, and to like the comics, and my friend Mike, and apparently my friend Mike's mom. We all find that very funny. But if you're outside of that circle, it's not a good translation joke, right? So I
yeah,
try to
because
like,
people would be like, I don't get it.
I don't
So
get it. So that's,
yeah,
yeah,
and you
I
want to
try.
keep stuff. You don't want it so vague that it's obscure, but you want it vague enough that it resonates with people. Like
Yeah,
people
and
could
it can
relate to it. Yeah.
apply to more things. Like I think if I were to bring that Wish version back, I would pick, I don't know, the Wish version of Rick from Rick and Morty. Like I would pick something a little more that people would immediately be like, would you date even the real
The real
version of
version.
that? Let alone the Wish version. Like that's kind of where I'm.
And I
It's
just love the whole analogy because people know exactly what you mean when you say the Wish version of whatever. As soon as they hear the Wish version, they start laughing because they're like, oh man, yeah. It's so funny.
exactly. I think Al has a pretty good joke about how someone called him the Dollar Tree version of Pete Davidson, and he was really offended because that isn't even the best dollar store. And I like that, I really do. But I like the Wish version of
Yeah.
something for like when I'm talking about it, because it's more like, yeah, I feel like it's gonna definitely be more. This was something I was expecting to be really good, and it's
It's so not like it's
yeah.
whatever the opposite of that is. That's what
When you go to the
happens.
dollar store, you're aware you're getting a knockoff product. But when you order from Wish,
Yes,
there is that
yes.
hope in the back of your head that this is going to be the one time it works out.
Exactly. Exactly. It's true. And you go to like Dollarama or whatever, it's like you know what to expect. Like,
You know what you're getting.
yeah, exactly. You know what you're getting. But yeah, Wish, I guess that's why it's called Wish, because you're like, let me be the outlier where what I order actually looks like the picture that I ordered, you know?
That is really applicable to modern dating, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is very much like, let this be the one time this works out. I know it didn't work out for anyone
For
else, but
anyone
maybe
else.
I'm the exception.
Let me be the urban legend, you know, like that. I want to be the urban legend. Um, so you've referenced a couple of times during our conversation that you had a very difficult, you were going through some bad times and there were um attempts to end things. Do you
Yeah,
want to talk about that a
sure.
little bit?
I'm better now.
Okay. Okay. I'm
Actually,
glad
this
you're better. I'm glad you're better now. I'll just put
it
that
was
out there.
funny. I had my partner, I was saying I'm hoping to get a knife set for Christmas because I love cooking and my knives suck. And he was like, "Is that are we okay? Can we do that? Is that all
He's
right?"
like there to cook, right?
He's driving and he's like, I was like, "I'm fine now. I'm better now. I'm for a therapist. I'm fine." Um, I did go through a really rough time this summer, and I'd like to blame it on one particular thing, but I can't. It started. I was seeing a guy, and we ended things. But the rough time started before he and I ended things, so I can't even blame him for that. As much as I'd love to blame him. In fact, he and my current partner worked together pretty hard because they were the two people in town that I think I trusted the most to talk to about things. The comics did their best, um, but I didn't reach out to them until much later. So these two people tried their best. Then the great thing was they let me feel my feelings, but they also let me sit there and make all of these terrible, shitty jokes about everything. Um, like I would, talk about how I'm really bad at this, and that almost makes me feel worse. And like they got that was supposed to be funny. They helped a lot, but I think what helped even more was it was during the campaign, so I wasn't doing as many comedy shows as I wanted to. But the few that I did, being able to get on stage and joke about that experience was really helpful. And once I started doing that, there are quite a few guys from the Kingston community who did start reaching out. They were like, that was a really funny joke, but maybe before you get to want to tell that joke again, we'll go grab a pint. Or like I said, Zach, he checked in on me every second day because he was like, he says, I know we're not really close, but maybe that might make it easier for you to talk to me. And it was really hard for me to reach out to like my long-term friends and family who weren't in town because I didn't want them to worry, and they're way out of town. Like I didn't know how to balance that I need help versus I don't want to be burdened. Yeah. And it was really helpful to get on stage and tell those jokes and have people laugh at them. And that was really good for processing. And then once I was able to process it a little bit more, I was able to reach out to more people. But I think, I don't know, I should probably credit Skeleton Park for keeping me going, because the 2 shows I did there were like super healing. There was one show where I got there and it was about 6 hours after a prior attempt.
Oh, really? It was the same day.
Same day.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know
that
it was the same day.
It was the same day, and it was the first one they had. I can't remember who was there, honestly. I don't want to leave someone out, but there was Ryan Pete, Jeff Nixon, Luke Vaughn. They're the ones I really firmly remember being there. And I wasn't going to perform at all. I was just coming to watch because I wasn't feeling like I could. And they all were like, no, you got to get on stage. You got to get on stage. I remember Ryan saying, like, bare minimum, it'll make you feel better to make someone laugh. And I was like, that's true. Excellent points. Well done. I'll sign up and go up. And after my set, I felt so much better. Like the room was pretty full, and I made all of those people laugh. And that was such a nice feeling where I was like, hey, I am good at something. And, my pain, most of my set is about my traumas. My pain helped all of these people feel better about their lives for at least, 10 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm. And at least for 10 minutes, they could focus on something else. Yeah.
And I felt better. And it was like a weight was lifted off me. Like when I felt really bad, it was like there was this pain right here all of the time. And the pain went away. I was like, oh, okay. I remember sitting down, and the wife of the guy who runs the show came up to me, and she said something like, you looked so miserable before you went on stage. And she was like, you look a million times better now. You look like the exact opposite person. I was like, that's comedy. Like that's what comedy does. And the next time I was at Skeleton Park, I almost didn't make it. Zach came and picked me up. We were sitting on the patio before the show. It was summertime. And I was there. I think it was Jeff, Pete, Zach, and me. And we're putting our sets together. And I'm like, what do you guys think? Do you think I can open with Suicide and close with Abortion? And the table behind us had no idea that there was a comedy night going on.
They're like,
so all I heard was like, like a bunch of gasps. And I was like, this is great. This is exactly what I needed. The table did not stay for the show. I think I scared them right the hell away. And the show was not, that one was attended by mostly just comics. But it was a really great place. Like we all did our sets, and then they all invited us back on stage. They're like, hey, try one new joke each of you.
Oh, wow.
And it was awesome. Like it was a great night. That was the night that Becky, who was working bar, leaned over to Zach and was like, is she
is she okay? Do we need to call anyone?
Yeah, it was really, really healing and again, like even if I was just making the comics laugh, I was like, hey, I'm making my friends think about something other than what's going on in their lives for 10 minutes or so. And it's such a great feeling to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have been running for council, I would have sought out more comedy shows for sure. Um, it was nice though, running for council. After each canvassing night, I would get together with the counselor I know, and we'd sort of just like hash out what it was like for you, what it was like for me, and I would have an audience to tell those jokes about canvassing too. You know, like jokes that maybe are a little inappropriate to tell, or like this is what one woman said to me, or this guy just kept calling me free, and like I don't know, he's gonna vote for me though.
As long as he votes, like.
um, so it was just nice to have that. Like once it kind of clicked that if I can make people laugh, I'm gonna feel better myself, and then carry that on. It was really helpful. And I also do want to say I'm paying for therapy now. Like I'm not seeing a free person. I'm paying almost my rent in therapy because again,
yeah, therapy's expensive and
um,
it's prohibitive sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm doing so much better with paid therapy.
Yeah, like I started therapy again myself about a month or two ago, and I don't know why I thought I could go without it. You know, I went without it for I want to say maybe a year, and yeah, everything spiraled and
Yeah,
like swirled around the drain and everything. And I remember thinking, okay, what's the, not that things were like super cool and awesome and everything was great, but like what was the difference between how I'm feeling now and how I felt a year and a half ago? And it was therapy.
and it's I
Yeah.
with me, and I get I don't want to blame anyone, but I am going to blame the Ontario healthcare system. They set me up with a crisis counselor to deal with. I had a ex, you know, who liked to have sex with me when I was not conscious, and
Hate that guy. I hate
I'm
that guy.
having I have a lot of um, I have a lot of problems with that. So they set me up with a sexual crisis counselor or a sexual assault crisis counselor, and it was great. And she saw me every week for 3 months, and I was doing so much better. She gave me homework, exercises. She was great. But at the end of 3 months, the funding stopped. So I had this regular therapy that was good every week for an hour for 3 months, and then abruptly it's
Yeah,
gone.
gone.
And I'm not gonna lie, 2.5 weeks later was my first attempt. And I remember I couldn't get back in the clinic because there was like you have to be discharged for so long before they can accept you as a patient again. There was no other crisis counseling service in Kingston that I qualified for. I had I had one person seriously suggest medical assistance in dying to me at one point, because they're like, Kingston has nothing left for you. Like if you
That
can't
was their
afford therapy.
solution. That was their fucking solution. Fuck.
March 17th, 2023, it's available to people with mental health issues. If you really think that you're not going to get better on your own, it's something you might want to consider.
What the actual fuck? Like that.
Yeah. The best they would do for me is
Refer you to an assisted suicide
yeah.
clinic.
Prior to that, they offered me 15 minutes of consultation with a psychiatrist once every 2 months. But the main goal of psychiatry is to medicate you, which is fine. Like I need medication for food, but I also need
you need the behavioral
therapy.
cognitive therapy, like
Yeah.
the talking, not just being medicated.
So, that was very jarring, and paying for it now, like I said, it's sacrifices I have to make.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm seeing a counselor for integrated family systems therapy, which is helping me deal with various parts. I'm seeing a trauma counselor for long-term trauma.
Yeah, because
Two others on
one
the go.
therapist can't handle, you need a specialist for the
Yeah,
different issues, and that adds up. If it's
it
like
does.
$150 to $200 per hour per therapist.
And benefits. I have benefits at my job, which is great. Like, however, I only get 500 a year for therapy.
Yeah, you burn through that so quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
so quickly.
I started seeing this particular therapist in November. And I'm already out.
Yeah. That's part of why I had stopped, because at one point I was seeing two, and I burned through my benefits. And
Yeah.
it was the type of thing that at the frequency that I was seeing one every week, and then the other one like every, not quite monthly, maybe every 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
burnt through quickly. And then I was like, I can't afford to do it out of pocket that often.
Yeah.
I can't, sort of thing. So now it's like, the frequency isn't ideal. I would love to do it weekly.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like I'm just doing it like every 3 to 4 weeks.
I was
Yeah.
really, really lucky in that I found someone who was willing to give me a sliding scale. And her sliding scale isn't based on your income, it's based on what you have left over at the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
So she was like, after
That's
you
a huge difference. That's a huge difference.
yeah, she was like, after you pay your rent, your groceries, whatever you need for your kid,
Utilities, yeah.
cat food, like whatever your essentials are, let me know what you've got left, and then we'll talk about what's a fair rate. Because she was like, because you deserve to be able to like buy a new shirt if you need to, or
Yes,
like
yes.
get
Treat
the
your kid
good
to something.
foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
treat Coop to like a dinner out every now and then. She was like,
Or
so I
treat
just want to know.
yourself to something too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was really, that's been very, it's probably the only reason I've been able to afford it as I have.
Wow.
That, and like honestly, my current partner, if I run out, he'll help me with groceries. And there are some weeks where I'm so grateful that I don't have to decide between therapy and groceries.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
I'm going to get both.
Yes.
And I know that
Yes.
I'm incredibly privileged to be in that position. I know not a lot of people are. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
been life saving too. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, same with me too. That because we both know lots of people who need therapy, want therapy, can't get therapy.
Yeah.
They can't get it because like limited funding, just like how you're talking about. Yeah, you got it for 3 months and then poof, you're out, and
Yeah.
you can't be readmitted after 3 or 6 months pass. Like it's
Yeah.
a whole thing. So I'm like, if I'm privileged to be able to do it
Yeah.
at all.
That's what I keep.
So,
I'm just very grateful I've got it because it's been really, really helpful.
yeah. Well, I'm so well. I see you. I don't see you often enough, but we talk every day and all of that. And
Yeah.
I was there with you during that
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
it was. I'm I'm glad you're doing better.
I
I'm glad you're doing better. That's all. I'm glad you're doing better.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I have friends like you and um my current partner who was he was my ex at the time. Like he had no obligation to help me. And then the other person helping me had just broken up with me. Like he also had no
Yeah.
obligation to be there. The
Yeah, they're
fact that
making it really hard for me to hate them.
I know, right?
I was like, why are they
The
being
one
so nice like that?
the one guy would literally let me stay at even like recently. If I have a rough day, he's like, just go crash on my couch. It's cool.
Yeah.
We'll watch TV. We'll have a couple drinks. Crash on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Well,
point now where his kids are like, what is she? Is she like our aunt somehow? And I'm like, I think that's what I've slid into. I'm like the crazy aunt of that household.
that's so funny. Well, the last time I saw you, which was I think 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I told your current partner, I just like you weren't, I think you had stepped away or something. And I leaned over and I was like, thank you,
Aw.
for looking out for her, you know.
He he was engaged to someone else at the time. He had no obligation to look after me whatsoever. I still to this day don't know why he did it. I don't want to ask him.
Because he loves you, that's why.
Well,
Because he loves
yeah.
you.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
no, I remember there was one day I was in the file storage room. I don't know what it was. I think triggered me. Then I messaged him. I was like, I said, I'm really upset right now. And he was like, what can I do to make you happy? And I was like, just tell me I'm pretty. Right.
Sometimes it's that simple.
I'm just
Sometimes
like,
it is that simple, you know?
I need a compliment. And like I said, I've lost a lot of weight really quickly and I don't feel very comfortable where I'm at. I just looked it up and like I'm a few pounds off of being diagnosed with anorexia. Like I feel not happy. So I was like, just tell me I'm pretty, give me a little bit of confidence. And he replied with, you're more than pretty, you're hot and getting hotter every day. You have brilliance and intelligence. You're clever, you're witty, you're so funny. I've benefited from you being around. The world is a better place if you're in it. Like,
that's sweet.
and again, he engaged to another woman. Like, he had no obligation to be that nice to me. So that was nice. I'm glad you thanked him though.
I did. I think I thanked him twice. I think I said something to him twice, you know, because I was just the same thing, because like neither of them, I haven't seen the other one in a while, but neither of them were under any obligation to do anything for you, you know, and they that just shows their character as people.
Yeah.
You know, that just says a lot about them as people. So
yeah. The most recent one came to the show on Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure Pete thanked them. I can't be positive, but
that wouldn't surprise me if Pete did that. That wouldn't surprise me.
Which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
He was super psyched to come to the comedy show.
Oh man. So let's wrap things up on like a happier note, like we're uplifting. So I've got my list of 250 fucked up questions. They range anywhere from silly to deep to what the fuck. So
okay, love it.
So we'll do at least 2, possibly 3. So if you could pick a number between 1 and 250, and I'll read the corresponding question.
42.
42? Okay, let's go. Okay, 42. How many people do you fall in love with every day?
New people or existing people fall in love with again?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
Could be whatever.
This is going to be cheesy. I fall in love with my current partner every day. Even when we're fighting, he does things that I'm, you know. And I'm working on falling in love with myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I always have crushes. I have crushes on so many people at different times.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't say love. I'd say,
yeah, I wouldn't say fall in love, but I have people I love. They're people I love. But to be like fall in love every day, no. It's like I have crushes on people every day. I see somebody or something. It's like, oh, that's so cute. Like crush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, another one, please.
27.
27? Okay. If you could compare yourself with any animal, which would it be and why?
I would say a fox because I'm very clever. And resourceful. Like urban foxes have to, they're resourceful. So I would say a fox because I'm clever and resourceful.
Okay.
Or a butterfly because I had a rough adolescence. I left a lot of shitty situations, left an abusive marriage, left an abusive marriage quite a few years ago, and I sort of transformed myself from, what I was to what I am, which I think spread my wings. So
yes, that's huge. Yes. That's huge. That's huge. I don't have an answer that deep. I live with 3 cats, so I see myself in them sometimes. I see myself in them sometimes, and sometimes just the attitude of a cat is just awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a meme that I posted not that long ago, within like 2 weeks, and it said something along the lines of walk into the room with like the confidence of a cat.
Yes.
Is there anything I can fuck up in here or eat? And if not, you're lucky to have me.
Yeah.
I'm coming in here, and no matter what I do, you're lucky to have me here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I strive for. That's what I'm striving for, you know. Okay, let's do one. Let's do two more.
Okay. 151.
151. Okay.
Look at me making decisions this quickly.
Okay. What is the funniest thing someone has said to you?
Oh my God. I have all my friends are comedians. That's not fair. The guy in bed counting to 39 was pretty fucking funny because I wasn't anticipating that. Yeah, honestly, every conversation I have with like you or with Pete or with Jeff Nixon once said something to me that was so funny. I almost died. Oh, I was talking about how I have 4 therapists. And he's like, did you get one after each suicide attempt? They say the healthcare system's broken.
That's funny.
But yeah, I think every time I have a conversation with a comic, the new funniest thing that I've ever heard comes up. I'm so lucky to have like my entire friend group be comics.
Same. Like I can't, like off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, but I know that there have been things that you've said to me or Pete or my sister or somebody has said something where I'm just like dying.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a good thing that, you know, I like having access to that, you know,
Yeah.
access to funny, witty people, you know. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's do one more and then we'll wrap this up.
How about oh, now I have to think of a number. 105.
105. Okay. Okay, 105. If there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, what is the first thing you would do?
First thing I would do is go get my bow and arrows.
True. Yes.
Without thought, I would get my bow and arrows. Second thing I would do is learn how to make new arrows.
Yes. She can make boomerang ones that can hit the target, pull themselves out, and come back like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be it. I would zombie apocalypse would happen. I would be the one probably responsible for feeding everyone.
Yes, because you could hunt.
Yeah. And I think I would, you know, be able to defend an area if I could, you know, I'm good enough. I think I could get headshots consistently.
I think I would be like the first to die. Like one of the first to die. I can't do shit. But I remember like probably about 10 years ago. I'll see if I know I have the picture somewhere. I was on my way out. I was on my way out for the evening and I was waiting. It's when I lived in Toronto and I was waiting at the bus stop, and I can't find it right now, but in the bus shelter, there was a poster that was advertising like zombie school, like zombie apocalypse school, like how to survive an apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse. And it had, you know, the thing where you pull, like it's kind of at the bottom with the phone number or an email address. So it had that. And it was how to survive, like a survival course for how to survive a zombie apocalypse. Like I would need to take that course because I know that I would probably be one of the first to die.
Like, just get yourself here. What we would do is we would set up shop at Mike's house. I don't know if he'd be allowed to stay or not, but we'd set up shop there because it's a nice big place. It's also across the causeway. And if we can blow the bridges, I don't know if zombies can.
If they can swim or not. I'd have to get, like, I don't even think I would make it there because I have zero survival skills. at all. So
Keep your tank of gas full. That's
yeah,
all you need to do.
I'll just have a tank of gas. That's my contribution, because I don't have weapons. I don't know how to shoot a bow and arrow. I can't run very fast. Unless I
Why
just
do you
tell them jokes like that.
Well, that's the thing. So every group of survivors needs someone to keep the mood light.
Maybe that's what you have to keep me alive.
Yeah, like I said, you just make it there, and then we'll figure shit out. Like I said, we can blow some bridges. I think we could probably isolate the area. I think we would eventually be able to make it work.
Oh my god. Okay, so note to self: keep gas tank full.
Just make it to Kingston, and
make
you'll
it
be
to
fine.
Kingston and I'll be fine. Okay.
We'll take care
of you. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me this afternoon. This was
Thanks for
a
having me.
great conversation, as always. As you know, I expected no less. And thank you for being so open and candid about the struggles you've had.
Hopefully they help someone else get through them too.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. So thank you again. And thank you, listeners and viewers. We'll see you next time. Okay. Bye.